Alright guys, so this is going to be Form A of a pre-trip inspection. So, first thing I'm going to start with is going to be my ID lights on the very top. We're going to make sure that they are mounted securely. They are not broken or damaged. There's no loose or missing bolts. They are operating properly. They are amber in color, and 3 will represent a commercial vehicle. Underneath, you're going to have your windshield, and it is mounted securely. It is clean, it is not cracked, has no illegal stickers, and the weather stripping around it is also in good condition. It is not cracked, frayed, or damaged. And so underneath, you're gonna have your windshield wiper arms and blades, and they are all mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. They are operating properly and smoothly. They are not cracked or damaged, and the blades is also still in good condition. Then we're gonna come right over here. We're gonna check our convex mirror. Convex mirror is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is cleaned, it is not cracked or damaged, has no illegal stickers, and adjusted to me. Right over here, we're gonna have our convex mirror bracket. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is not broken, bent, or damaged. Right over here, we're gonna have our headlights, turn lights, or turn signals, and emergency lights. And they are all mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. They are cleaned, they are clear headlights. They are amber colored in the turn signals and emergency light bulbs. And from there, we're gonna go down here. We're gonna check our license plates. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is cleaned, it is not broken or has illegal holes or welds on it, has proper registration on it. We're gonna get underneath. We're gonna make sure that there's nothing leaking, no fluids, nothing dangling or hanging. Then we're gonna go ahead and unlatch it to lift the hood. When we're doing that, we're gonna make sure that the hood latch is mounted securely, has no loose or missing bolts. The rubber is in good shape, and it'll open and close and latch securely. So let me just open it up real quick because it's already unlatched. Okay, so the latches, again, the rubber is in good shape. They do latch and open and close properly. Once inside, we're gonna check the windshield washer fluid reservoir. It is mounted securely. There's no loose or missing bolts. It is at the proper fluid level. It is not broken, cracked, or leaking. The cap is on tight, and the hoses that run to and from it are also in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Right over here, we're gonna have our coolant reservoir. The coolant reservoir is mounted securely as well. No loose or missing parts or bolts. Again, it is at the proper fluid level. It is not cracked, damaged, or leaking. The cap is on tight, and again, the hoses that run to and from it are in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Going to the other side, we are going to have our air box. It is mounted securely. It is in good shape, not broken, bent, or damaged. We're going to have our radiator and fan. Again, mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is operating properly. Then we're gonna have our serpentine belt. Serpentine belt is right over here. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts. There's no frays, no tears, no rips or cuts, and it cannot be pushed down more than 3/4 of an inch. Again, when you push down in the center of it. It does operate the alternator and the water pump. So right here we have the water pump. It is mounted securely. It is again belt driven, no loose or missing parts or bolts, not bent or damaged, and the hoses that run to and from it are in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Right up here, we're gonna have our alternator. Again, it is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is not broken or damaged, and the electrical wires that run to and from it are also properly fastened down. Back to the other side. Right over here, we're going to have our air compressor. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts. It is not broken, bent, damaged, and has no illegal welds. This one is going to be gear driven, and it's going to be tested later with the air brakes. The hoses that run to and from it are also in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Now, I'm not sure you can see it, but down underneath it, you're going to have the power steering pump. It is also gear driven. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is not broken, bent, or damaged, has no illegal welds, and the hoses that run to and from it are also in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Right over here, we're going to have our power steering fluid reservoir. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is at the proper fluid level. It is not broken, bent, damaged, or cracked. There's no leaks to it. The cap is on tight. And again, the hoses that run to and from it are in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Right over here, we're going to have our oil filler and dipstick. Oil filler and dipstick is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. To check it, you'll extract it, clean it with a rag, reinsert it, re-extract it, and it should be above the refill mark and at the proper fluid level. Then we're going to move on to the steering box. The steering box is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is not broken, bent, damaged, cracked, and has no illegal welds on it. The hoses that run to and from it are also in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Clamps are all on tight as well. Right over here, we're going to have our drive shaft or steering shaft, and it's going to be mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. They are not broken, bent, or damaged. There is no illegal welds on it. The couplings are all properly greased and free of any debris or contamination. Underneath, we're going to have our steering linkage. Steering linkage is mounted securely, no loose or missing cotter pins or castle nuts. It is not broken, bent, damaged, cracked, has no illegal welds, and it is properly greased. Then we're going to have our shock absorber. Shock absorber is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is not broken, bent, damaged, no leaks on it, and the bushings are also in good condition. They are not cracked or damaged in any way. Right over here, we're going to have our leaf spring hangers on both sides, front and back. They are all mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. They are not broken, bent, or damaged, no cracks or illegal welds on them. We're going to have the actual leaf springs here, again on both sides. They are mounted securely, no loose or missing leaf springs. They are not broken, bent, damaged, cracked, or have illegal holes or welds on them. Then we're going to have the U-bolts, the leaf spring U-bolts. They are again mounted securely, no loose or missing U-bolts. They are not broken, bent, or damaged, and there's also no loose or missing nuts at the bottom. Then we are going to have our brake air chamber. Brake air chamber is right here, and it is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts. It is not broken, bent, or damaged. The clamps are all on tight, and the hoses that run to and from it are in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, or leaking. Right over here, we're going to have our brake slack adjuster and push rod. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts. It is properly greased. The cotter pin is intact, and when you have it on flat surface and release the brakes, it cannot be pulled more than 1 inch. Otherwise, there's a problem and you need to readjust it. I'm not sure if you can see, but the inside, there is going to be the brake drum. And the brake drum is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts. It is not broken, bent, damaged, cracked. It has no illegal welds. And it cannot have any signs of contamination from things like grease or oil. And then inside, which unfortunately we can't see, we have, not from this angle at least, we have our brake pads. Brake pads again are also mounted securely, no loose or missing parts. They are not broken, bent, or damaged. And again, there's no signs of contamination from things such as grease or oil. They cannot also be worn dangerously thin, and that's imperative to know. They cannot be any less than 1/4 of an inch of padding left. Otherwise, they will need to be replaced. Right over here, we're gonna have the entire tire. The tire is mounted securely. It is at the proper air level. When checked with the gauge, it is at 105 psi. The tread for the front has to be no less than 4/30 seconds of tread left. The tires are worn evenly on both sides. There is no signs of damage, no cracks, no leaks, no nails that have been caught. Again, the same goes for the sidewalls. They are also in good condition. They are not cracked, cut, leaking, or damage to them. Then we are going to have our wheels or rims. They are mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. They are not broken, bent, damaged, cracked, or have illegal welds or holes on them. There's no signs of rust. Then we are going to have the lug nuts. They are all mounted securely, no loose or missing lug nuts. They are not broken or damaged. There is also no signs of rust streaks or silver shavings that would indicate that one is loose. Right over here, we're going to have our valve seal, or valve stem, I'm sorry. It is mounted securely. It is not cracked or leaking. And the cap is there. It is present and it is tight. Lastly, for Form A, we're going to have our oil seal. It is mounted securely, no loose or missing parts or bolts. It is clean, no signs of contamination from a leak. It is at the proper fluid level as well. That is going to be it for Form A for your CDL pre-trip. Make a Form B in another video.